Modern warfare is no longer decided by who fires first.
I'll go!
It's decided by who knows first, and who keeps knowing, minute after minute, long before anything explodes. During Israel's operations against Hezbollah in Lebanon, the most damaging blows weren't delivered by jets or artillery. They were delivered through intelligence, accumulated patiently over years, executed in seconds, or tracking vehicles. It was mapping systems, communication habits, command hierarchies, logistics chains. Airborne ISR aircraft, SIGINT platforms, and persistent UAV orbits quietly collected radio traffic, cellular patterns, and electronic emissions across southern Lebanon. Not to jam them, not to strike immediately, but to understand how the organization actually functioned. No aircraft crossed borders, no missiles were fired, but Hezbollah's operational tempo collapsed. That is what mature ISR warfare looks like. The aircraft in the sky, Gulfstream G550 Nakshon SIGINT platforms, long-endurance UAVs, supporting ground sensors, didn't pull the trigger. They enabled certainty. They told planners where leadership nodes were, when they were active, and how distribution would cascade through the system. This is the evolution of ISR. It no longer exists just to cue strikes. It shapes the battlefield invisibly, collapsing enemy systems before kinetic force is even required. And that logic now defines how major powers prepare for war. Across the world, a quiet arms race is underway. Not for fighters or bombers, but for airborne intelligence webs. Massive, layered ISR architectures that fuse spy planes, early warning aircraft, drones, satellite, and data links into a single persistent picture of reality. The nation that builds the deepest web doesn't just react faster, it controls tempo. No country has taken that further than the United States. The US ISR architecture is global, continuous, and deeply layered. At its core are manned aircraft that act as flying intelligence hubs. RC-135 Rivet joint aircraft vacuum up electronic emissions along the edges of hostile airspace. Radar pulses, radio chatter, data links, turning noise into actionable intelligence in real time. Along them fly E-3 AWACS aircraft, controlling airspace and tracking patterns, formations, and intent. Add the E-8 J-Stars, designed to track ground movement, and the US gains simultaneous visibility of air and ground maneuver. This combination has often been called an ISR Iron Triad: signals, air control, and ground surveillance working together. Above them all operates the U-2 Dragon Lady. Flying above 70,000 feet, it collects imagery and radar data across entire theaters in a single sortie. Despite its age, it remains one of the most valuable reconnaissance platforms in service. Unmanned systems extend this web further. RQ-4 Global Hawks and MQ-4C Tritons stay airborne for more than 30 hours, watching oceans and continents without pause. Below them, MQ-9 Reapers and tactical drones track individual vehicles and units. All of this feeds into a global command network spanning every US combatant command. Data from the Pacific can be fused with space-based sensors, cyber intelligence, and naval tracking in near real time. The result isn't just awareness, it's prediction. The US doesn't just see what is happening, it sees what is about to happen. The architecture extends outward through NATO and allied networks. The UK's RC-135W Airseeker fleet plugs directly into US intelligence pipelines. NATO's E-3 AWACS aircraft coordinate airspace across Europe. As those aircrafts age, allies are shifting to the E-7 Wedgetail, bringing modern sensors and digital integration. In the Indo-Pacific, Japan operates E-767 AWACS aircraft and long-range surveillance systems. Maritime patrol fleets, P-3s and P-8s, track submarines and surface ships across vast ocean spaces. Russia approaches ISR from a far more constrained position. Its most capable platform, the Tu-214R, combines electronic intelligence, radar, and imagery. But only a handful exist. Each deployment matters. The aircraft has been used over Syria and Ukraine to provide high-value intelligence. But Russia lacks the ability to maintain continuous, layered coverage. ISR is powerful when present, and absent when it isn't. China is building something different. Rather than global reach, Beijing is constructing dense regional ISR webs. Y-8 and Y-9-based aircraft, including KJ-2000 and KJ-500 early warning platforms, monitor the East and South China Seas. Specialized electronic intelligence variants track naval movements and support China's anti-access strategy. These aircraft don't just watch. They cue missile forces, guide naval units, and extend sensor reach far beyond the coastline. China's ISR Web is tightly integrated with geography, optimized to control choke points and deny access, rather than patrol the globe. Other powers follow similar logic. Israel's ISR architecture is among the most refined in the world, optimized for speed, certainty, and rapid disruption. India's AEW, maritime patrol, and UAV fleets focus on ocean surveillance and early warning. Gulf states invest in airborne sensors to compensate for limited strategic depth. Across all these systems, one truth stands out. In future conflicts, the most dangerous weapon may not be a missile or a jet, but the aircraft quietly watching from above, long before anyone knows a war has begun.